Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today we are doing 1996's Twister.
Cows!
Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, share with your friends, and let's jump into this. So, 1996 Twister, starring Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, Cary Elwes, Jamie Gertz, and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
You know who I really was looking forward to seeing in this movie and they never showed up?
Who?
Science!
When I'm noticing inaccuracies in how the science works in this movie, it's really bad, because it's only like the science that was actually science in this movie was only during convenient times for the script. Like,
yeah. Science. They go down this road and they start talking about it and like, oh, what are you guys doing? We're putting balls into the air. And then it's like, science would be over here on the left and you just make a hard right. And you fill it in with data and readings. Science.
So let's unpack this movie. The opening is back in the day. Helen Hunt's character, Jo, is a little girl. There's a tornado coming through that apparently is an F5, like big mamba jamba tornado. And they get into their storm shelter. The dad wakes everybody up and is getting them out to the storm shelter that's underground, that apparently has the worst latch to the door ever. And it's the dad from Varsity Blues, and he gets sucked out before he can suck this movie anymore because he was terrible in Varsity Blues. So flash forward to present day. Bill and his soon-to-be wife, played by Jamie Gertz, travel to see Jo and get his divorce papers signed.
PSA number 1. Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. If you happen to go through the unfortunate drama of a divorce, and you are fortunate enough to meet somebody else, you're going to get remarried, all that fun stuff, those two parties never need to meet.
Yes.
Never should meet, and definitely should not meet when you are pressuring your soon-to-be ex-wife to sign the divorce papers so you can marry your new girlfriend.
Yes.
Bad idea all the way around. Do not do it.
And if you do, please invite both of your lawyers.
Or be armed, because she probably will be. Or he. Somebody's going to be armed.
Bill was part of this storm chasing, tornado chasing team, and this band of misfit toys
That's exactly how I was going to describe them.
This ragtag team of storm chasers that they don't have equipment and they just kind of make it in their garage. And that's this team. Helen Hunt is now the leader of this team as Jo.
Yes. And you can actually smell this team. I think this was the first movie that did this. You could smell their BO through the TV. It was amazing technology. But every time Philip Seymour Hoffman was on there, I could smell him come oozing through my television.
This was the premiere of Scratch and Sniff movies.
Yeah, and it was disgusting.
So Bill is apparently left the team because he's going to be a weatherman.
Yep.
And nobody lets him forget that.
I said, weatherman, I think it's great.
Oh, you had that tone.
There was no tone. If you have a problem being a weatherman.
Okay.
Fancy truck, fancy girlfriend. Look at Jo over there in her wife beater and hair's all a mess.
I'll say this. Not a huge fan of Helen Hunt, but and again, I'm not talking about these people personally, just in the movie.
Yes.
When you go from Helen Hunt to Jamie Gertz, that's a downgrade. I hate to tell you, with the pantsuits and the little coiffed hair, Jamie Gertz looks terrible in this movie.
Everything. They did her character so wrong.
Yes.
She could have sued them as the character in this movie and won. It was.
They
It
did her
was
dirty.
so, dude. This movie, if you just remove her, and it has nothing to do with Jamie Gertz. She absolutely did the best she could with the mess of a character she was given.
She did a great job.
Yeah, but dude, they could have removed her entire character from the movie, and it would have been so much better.
I actually said this, like I wrote this down in my notes. If they removed her character and just made Bill and Joe on the verge of getting a divorce, you could still have the divorce papers and all that stuff. Like,
yeah, he still could have just shown up by himself, and I'm marrying Melissa back home.
Yeah, or whatever. You could have just removed that whole storyline from the whole thing, and this movie would already be 5 times better than it was.
Yes.
But so they get interrupted when the team tracks a tornado and they all take off. The last page of the divorce papers is the only page that Joe does not sign. She signs everything else, and she's trying to hold up the whole proceedings, whatever, don't care. They get on the road. They run into a rival storm chasing team. I don't know how competitive the storm chasing business is. Maybe there are rival teams out there. I highly doubt if there are rivals in the storm chasing business. I can't believe I'm even saying this. I'm pretty sure they try to keep each other out of harm's way and not purposefully try to steer them into fucking tornadoes so they die. But with that being said, Cary Elwes is what is the leader of the rival gang storm chaser team.
Tell me you love me.
And Casanova stole Bill's idea for the Dorothy device that is supposedly supposed to measure tornadoes internally with these little flying devices. There's a little back and forth between the two and a fight.
Can we just stop? This is what's frustrating about them leaving the science out of this movie, is they have a fight like 2 scientists would fight.
Yes.
Which is to say, they don't fight. Bill Paxton flips the hat off Cary Elwes and grabs him and goes, "You stole my idea, man." Cary Elwes goes, "Somebody get the cycle off of me, man."
I really enjoy your weather reports.
Hey, man, don't you talk about me like that. Jamie Gertz has a moment in here, again, because we have to keep illustrating through this how bad her character is.
Yes.
Because she has a moment in this diner after the whole fight, and she goes after Helen Hunt and is like, I hope this isn't some pathetic attempt to keep Billy around. She takes these jabs at Joe, and it's like, 1, you already got the guy.
Yeah. 2,
you're a psychiatrist. You're a professional psychiatrist.
Isn't she she's a relationship psychologist, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's who she's dealing with Donald the whole time on the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
And his penis problem.
She did not marry your penis.
She goes on to just poke and prod Joe in this whole diner scene, and Joe's just like, "All right, bitch," and just kind of walks away. Even buys her you're a psychiatrist. That's the best you got?
Exactly.
You're trying to mind fuck this girl, and I hope this isn't some pathetic attempt to get Billy back. Are you an extra in Urban Cowboy? What is happening? That's so not where you're a strong, confident, professional woman. And now you're like, high school stuff. Betty and Veronica, Riverdale. Get the fuck out of here.
When they're chasing the first tornado, they get caught in its path. The tornado, and this is where, when I say, it's science is just convenience for certain scenes.
Right.
They're under this rickety little, bridge thing. The truck is slammed into the bridge. There's a tractor on top of the bridge. It lifts and takes the truck, the tractor, but not this rickety-ass, molded out bridge.
Can't pull a nail out to save its life.
And they are not hit with any sort of debris, as literally the thing goes right on top of them.
Yep. This movie is the exact reason why I do everything around bridges.
So they're chasing another tornado. Bill and Joe's team beats the Ivan Drago team with all the tech because Bill can talk to tornadoes, I guess. That's a thing? He can smell them and talk to them. And cool.
He's the extreme.
Because Billy is the extreme.
Bill's the most out of control son of a bitch in the game.
Why? Because he walked out to a tornado naked and threw a bottle of Jack fucking Daniels into it?
And it never hit the ground.
Yep.
That's how tornadoes work.
Because probably, when there's debris in there and it's glass, it got broken.
So this is where Bill's fiance is taking calls from her clients for therapy after the second tornado where it splits into two and then it plays a little game of do-si-do with the truck.
Two steps a hell of a lot better than Travolta did.
So it spins the truck around a few times and then it dissipates and goes away, whatever. And then after this, again, going back to like there's certain scenes and things that you could have removed from this movie. Joe's aunt, you could have just removed all those scenes because after this they go, oh, we're hungry, we want to get some food and we need to get some grub on, and we're really close to your aunt's house because fucking whatever, because we need an excuse for more exposition in the next scene, so let's go there and fucking have steak and eggs.
Make a 70-year-old woman cook steak and eggs for like 12 people, I think we're all there.
Yes. I'm not saying I'm rich, okay? But if friends were to pop by and they were like, oh, you cooking dinner? I would typically have some extra stuff that I could be like, oh, yeah, no, sit down, no problem. There's like 15 people that show up at her house and she's got steaks for everybody?
I think she basically lived across the street from the farmer in Napoleon Dynamite.
Over there, that creek, man, I found a couple of soaps on the Arrowhead.
The only way you have that much beef in the house.
They go to Joe's aunt's house where they share stories and extreme. Bill's fiance asks about what an F5 tornado, or if you ever seen an F5 tornado, and you would have thought she kicked the dog. Everybody gets super quiet. Why? Because Joe's poor dad got sucked out by an F5 tornado. Oh, shut the fuck up. These guys are geeky tornado chasers. If you ask them about an F5, if you ask them anything about a tornado, they will geek out on you. And by the way, Joe's not in the room. She's upstairs getting showered and cleaned up. So they can have a whole conversation of what exactly is an F5 and what the winds are like and yada yada. But they just go,
oh yeah, this is basically when an F5 tornado is introduced as the co-star in this movie. It is essentially Darth Vader.
Listen, it's the co-star of this movie when they give it a lion's growl in the opening of this fucking movie.
And they call an F5 the finger of God.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
I got a finger.
Yeah, exactly.
So, at Joe's aunt's house, they hear about an F3 that's coming, and they take off. Bill smells the tornado again and turns off course to try to beat the other team to it. Bill and Joe drive into the path of the tornado, and they attempt to release the Dorothy machine with all the little, GoBots or whatever the hell they have in there. And it tips over, the balls go everywhere. The tornado's like coming at them, and she's trying to pick up hundreds of balls in the middle of the thing, like, we can do it! We can pick them up! They get away unscathed once again. You talk about the finger of God. They have the finger of God on the two of them, just like, because they escape everything with not a scratch ever.
Yep. And this is where you get the big speech about, like, you got me, Joe.
Stop living in the past and look at what you got right in front of you.
What are you saying?
Me, Joe.
Helen Hunt says, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never seen it go from this house or miss this house and that house and that house and then choose to hit your house. The bitch is crazy. She just said the tornado chose to kill her father.
She said the tornado has feelings.
You were correct. It's fact.
Immediately after that, you're not a scientist. You're just a junkie. You're just chasing this thing that killed your father.
In Twister 2, she moves to Texas and starts a fucking cult with David Koresh.
Twister 2, Joe's Revenge.
Twister 2, Waco.
It's about to get windy in Waco.
So Bill tells her, like, oh, you got me, Joe. And Jamie Gertz, his fiance, hears it because they're still mic'd. And this has nothing to do with science. This is just practical effects. It's not like they have because they're constantly having to press the button and speak into the walkie-talkies. But apparently it's stuck on speaking mode and she can hear it. Fucking whatever. Joe signs the divorce papers that night while they're taking a break and getting coffee at a drive-in.
I don't know why that was the place to stop.
Yeah, I don't know. The TVs go snowy because rabbit ears. And Bill realizes that another tornado is starting.
He smelt it.
He did smelt it. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. And they all go for cover. It selectively destroys some shit, and they get out, again, unscathed. The tornado plays Jenga with all the shit. Like, it just misses everybody. Everybody's unscathed. It's heading towards Joe's aunt's place. So they're all going there. Bill's fiance breaks up with him because she can't compete with Joe in tornadoes?
We have to drive out and get these divorce papers signed because we want to get married. Melissa has to be with me to make sure this happens because we are so steadfast.
Yes.
Goddamn determined to get married. It has to happen. 2.
Sooner or later,
Please.
it would have ended. We both know that. The funny thing is, I'm not that upset. What does that mean?
You're the fucking shrink. Why don't you tell us?
Exactly.
Again, why do you exist as a character? They did Jamie Gertz such a disservice.
Oh, dude, they did her so dirty in this movie because, again, her character doesn't need to even happen.
No,
and
she's a good actress.
She's a very good actress. So she breaks up with him. She leaves. They go to Joe's aunt's house and they save her after her house kind of collapses. Again, just the shot of the house actually collapsing after they all get out. Listen, I'm not an expert in collapsing structures, but I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. I'm just going to throw that out there. So this whole movie leading up to now, they talk about how you can't predict these things. You have maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and all of a sudden they're predicting an F5 that is 20 minutes away from happening.
Yep.
But they need the Dorothy machine and flying balls and fucking whatever. So they look at Joe's aunt. Her character literally only exists for her little artwork so they could stare at it and go, oh!
I know how to make Dorothy fly.
Of course. Of course.
They cut up a bunch of Pepsi cans. Again, they get this job done faster than Mark Wahlberg gets naked.
They look like employees in an Apple sweatshop. They're just jamming. Producing material.
Oh, so they get their shit and they go chasing this F5. They place Dorothy in it. It gets smashed. The truck gets hit by a tree and they're stuck in the road. Bill warns the other team not to go that way. Jonas doesn't listen.
Nope.
They get sucked up into the twister. And they did.
I know Bill has this magic eye. He is literally the only person that sees this. Answering my own question, no, he's not, because the whole fucking team warns him that it's about to shift.
Maybe we should do what he says. He'd never put us in harm's way.
He says, when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. mouth shut, put your foot on the gas, and stay on this heading.
Tornado or not, fear of death or not, I'm stopping the motherfucking truck and we're having a real quick talk about how you're going to respect me. Because no.
There's going to be some furniture moving in here. That's all I'm saying.
If I'm a part of this team, I'm going to open my fucking mouth. And you talk to me like that again, I'm going to bite your fucking hand off. Must be out of your mind.
So, shit gets crazy. They're dodging stuff. They drive through a house.
Oh, dude. This is where they have to dodge the tractors and right, left.
Yeah.
Your navigation is not necessary in this scene.
No.
It's so stupid. And if I remember correct, like back in the day when this came out, that was mocked like incessantly.
Oh, yeah.
Like it just was destroyed.
After they drive through the house, they drive the truck into the tornado. Dorothy flies as they jump out. They're getting readings. And it shifts northeast. Bill and Joe escape on foot. They said in this movie, it's not like I made the shit up. It's in the script because people said it. The base of this tornado is a mile wide. And Bill and Joe, who are two scientists, weather people, storm chasers, who I'm going to assume aren't training for the Olympics or any sort of sporting events.
Judging what they ate at Aunt Meg's house, they're about a week away from a clogged artery or two. It's not going to go well.
They outrun this F5 tornado on foot.
Yep.
Into the, and again, another failed attempt at humor, into the barn with sharp things. And oh, hell no. They run out of the barn into an outhouse with posts in the ground. And Bill says,
Here! These pipes go down at least 30 feet! We anchor to it, we might have a chance!
Okay. So they get belts and tie themselves so they don't get sucked in. How strong are your belts? And again, when the tornado goes by, the whole structure that they were in is gone. The only thing left is the cement slab, the little iron thing that they tied themselves to.
And they're two perfect faces.
And again, not a scratch, not a bruise. No blood.
You just saw a full tornado pass over. You went from the beginning of it to the middle, right in the eye, through the back end of that tornado.
And then another shitty shot. And again, I'm not going to, because, I've never directed a movie, but I'm not going to, I don't like to typically shit all over directors, but the shot of the family coming out of the storm shelter, like the dad and the daughter, and I'm like, we get it. Her dad died at the beginning of this movie. Stop it.
They did the same shit in Armageddon. They do the same shit in every fucking disaster movie. The Joe Public, normal guy, comes out with his family and looks around, and that makes you as the audience member go, my God, I can relate. God bless America. Fuck out of here.
And then Bill said, fuck his job as a weatherman. He's working with Joe again now, and they make out. End of movie?
You start the laugh. No, you start the laugh. No, you got to.
You're doing the analysis. I'm running the lab.
You're running the lab? I don't think so.
And then they magically know where to find them. You just showed up to the farm and know where they are, even though they've been out of communication with you the whole time.
Hey, they had readings and data to show them.
I remembered the readings. I did forget about the data.
Yes.
So, you're right.
So
I apologize, humbly.
You should.
To you and to data.
Oh my God, this movie is a slap in the face to readings and data.
It's a slap in the face to weather. It's a good thing weather doesn't have, decision-making abilities, because it would have killed everybody associated with it.
I'll ask. I know the answer from you, but does it stand the test of time?
No. Because here's why it doesn't stand the test of time. Similar movies like this have been made.
Yes.
I'll give you San Andreas. They do a similar thing where Paul Giamatti early in the movie is trying to get readings so he can predict when earthquakes are going to happen.
Yes.
what's fine about it in San Andreas is it's not the entire plot of the movie.
Yes.
It's a B plot at best.
Yeah.
Alex Dario and The Rock and their stories are much more driving this film.
Yeah.
This movie, the science is the entire plot. Them trying to get Dorothy is the only reason Bill sticks around. They want to get Dorothy in the air.
Yep.
And you give us none of the science. Even when it pulled, like, they show the computer like it's supposed to explain something. Like you see, like, F3-4, and then numbers pop up with 7 digits in each sequence. And what? What does any of it mean?
Science.
This whole movie, the script and everything, doesn't and how dirty they did Jamie Gertz definitely does not stand the test of time. However, if I would watch this movie again, if I just needed something for the back, like, it's entertaining.
Oh, if I'm cleaning, this is on like TNT, I'll throw it on.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, if you watch the movie on mute, it's awesome because there's just the effects are amazing.
There was only one time, and again for 1996, there was only one time during this movie where I went, that one didn't look. And I think it was when they're under the bridge, the rickety bridge, and the tornado comes through. There's a shot, like a wide shot of the tornado like leaving, and it just didn't look good. But other than that, the effects in this movie were really, really good.
They absolutely stand the test of time.
Yes, and there's a lot. I know I pretty much dumped on this movie the entire time. There are some things I liked about the movie, and I will give Philip Seymour Hoffman credit. He does a great job. I don't think I've ever seen him in a role where he didn't do well.
Oh no,
he was just a
phenomenal actor.
Yeah, he was just a great actor. And there are bits and pieces of this movie where the acting is really good and some of the scenes are really good. It's just, with movies like this and disaster movies, I find it hard to buy into it when it's only disaster happening during convenient plot point, like during convenient scenes, and like that's not how tornadoes work. Like you went through 6 tornadoes in this movie, and you didn't catch one splinter in the side or a board to the back of the head. Nothing.
Yep. And what's important to remember too, I'm kind of back talking myself here a little bit, is this was one of the first big disaster movies.
Yeah.
Like this and Independence Day, where you just saw like an effects-driven film that was tearing shit up.
Yep.
This movie made the mistake of trying to fit a story into it instead of just like a real story. Like, we're going to put a movie in here, but then there's going to be amazing effects.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's really good effects, and there's sort of a story, but it's mainly effects.
Well, you know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Nowadays versus back
this
then.
is hard to buy in. Like, Joe and Billy should not be married.
Yeah.
That divorce needs to happen. That science team deserves all the credit for everything because Joe is not a scientist and Bill is a weatherman who just can smell tornadoes.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
It was a bit too long.
Yep.
I think if it was an hour and a half, I think it would have been a ton better.
Oh, totally.
Because you would have to cut out all the Jamie Gertz parts, and that makes it an hour and a half long.
Exactly.
So, do you have anything else for the movie?
Nope, that was it.
All right. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1996's Twister.